What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another Clickbait Sports reaction. And oh my lord, what an NBA trade deadline this was. This absolutely left me shook. I mean, I gotta be honest with you guys. I thought this NBA trade deadline was gonna be a sleepwalk. I thought it was gonna be very lame and just not enough action going down today. But goddamn, did Cleveland really shock the system? They absolutely shook things up. They knew things weren't working, and it involved the Lakers. It involved so many different trades, and we're going to go through all of it. I'm actually on Adrian Wojnarowski's Twitter right now. By the way, the whole debate between Woj and Sams, can we end it now? Because Woj, this was his flu game. He destroyed this NBA trade deadline. Woj was on top of everything today. Shams was taking a step back. I don't know what Shams was doing this whole time, but Woj definitely won this. He showed why ESPN hired him. Let's just jump into this though. This whole day started with Jameer Nelson getting traded to the Detroit Pistons. Now, Jameer Nelson to the Pistons, I think is a pretty good trade for the Pistons. And obviously, Stan Van Gundy knows Jameer Nelson for his days in Orlando. So there's that familiarity there. Reggie Jackson is always injured, and he's injured right now, so it gives him insurance. Jameer and Ish Smith. Detroit's on a hell of a winning streak right now. Ever since they got Blake Griffin, they are on a roll. I think Detroit, you got to name Detroit as one of the winners of this trade deadline. I mean, not free agency. I hope I've been saying but this trade deadline has definitely been a winning trade deadline for the Detroit Pistons. They've just destroyed it with Blake Griffin, Jameer Nelson, those additions. I think they also traded Bryce Johnson for Rashad Vaughn. But we're going to go through all these trades. It was just an insane trade deadline, guys. It was massively insane. But after Jameer Nelson went to the Pistons, it all seemed quiet again. But then Cleveland and the Lakers talk started heating up, and all of a sudden the Lakers sent Jordan Clarkson and Larry Nance to the Cleveland Cavaliers. And before I get into that trade, I just want to thank Jordan Clarkson and Larry Nance for what they brought to the Lakers and how they played basketball here and the style they played. I loved Larry Nance. He was a hell of a role player. His dunks, his blocks. The one moment that stands out to me and always will stand out for Larry Nance was his dunk on David West last year when he would just caress David West's bald-ass head and just slam the ball down on him. Jordan, I've been a fan since his rookie season in LA. I remember that being the season where we had Carlos Boozer and Jeremy Lin, and Julius Randle broke his leg, and Jordan was the one shining moment from that team. And I went to the game. That was actually one of the first. That season was one of the first Laker games I went to with Mooney. So Jordan Clarkson, I became a huge fan. I gave him the nickname the Sixth God, and it sucks to see him go, but I understand why the Lakers are doing this. But in return, the Lakers acquired Isaiah Thomas and Channing Frye, and a protected first-round pick. But don't worry, it's just a lottery protected pick. The Cavs would have to be very terrible from now on for that to be an issue. So the Lakers get back Isaiah Thomas and Channing Frye. Now, Isaiah Thomas has been very much a cancer in a way. He's just been very erratic. He hasn't humbled himself, I think. Everything that happened in Boston last year has made him seem like he's a very big superstar, and he hasn't humbled himself, unfortunately. There's already talks about him not wanting to be a bench player. He's already talking about that if he's going to go to the bench, Lakers should buy him out. My boy, you haven't even put on the Lakers jersey yet, and you're already causing problems in LA, just like you caused problems in Cleveland. But the Lakers get Isaiah and Channing Frye, who was actually teammates with Luke Walton in Arizona. So there's a little familiarity and relationship there between Channing Frye and Luke Walton. So the Lakers acquired those two guys, plus the first-round pick. And a lot of Laker fans are triggered over this trade. And I'm going to tell you why you shouldn't be triggered over this trade. The Lakers now are now in the position to sign two max players. Trading Jordan Clarkson, yes, you have to throw in Larry Nance to sweeten the deal. The Lakers are like at $45 million. Now, if they don't sign Julius Randle and they use the stretch provision to get rid of Luol Deng, they will now have $69 million in cap space to go after the two guys they want the most. And I know we did a video earlier this week talking about the Lakers waiting for summer 2019. With the Lakers making this move, it's just apparent, and the news from earlier the week was fake news. The Lakers are going for it this summer. They're not waiting until summer 2019. They got the flexibility. Now they have the movement. Now they can go after LeBron James and Paul George. And that's the plan. I know it's the plan. Especially with the comments made by Paul George yesterday. I don't know if you guys heard about this, but it was reported by Sam Amick that Paul George said some very, very interesting comments just yesterday. Had me shook, by the way. But that he is happy in OKC, but he shouldn't have teams like he doesn't want people to think that just because he's happy in OKC doesn't mean he's going to stay in OKC. And I think that was very eye-opening for especially guys like the Lakers who want to get him. I'm gonna read you guys the full quote. Don't worry. Okay. This is the full quote. Well, I mean, I'm happy here. I'm happy here. I'm happy with this group. At the end of the season, I'm still on my decision on what I need to do for my family. That has nothing to do with my happiness here, though. I've been really happy. It's a great organization to be a part of. But again, I don't want people looking at this and saying like, hey, because he said he's happy, at the end of the day, that he's definitely resigning. I don't know if whether I'm going to LA or what I'm going to do this offseason, but I can't say I'm happy about being here. I'm happy with playing with Russ, happy with playing with Melo and the organization. This front office has shown that they can do to get pieces, and I'm not reading how active they are about winning. The point is, Paul George is saying that, yeah, he is happy. I mean, he's not displeased. He likes the situation he's in, but don't take that for granted and just assume just because he's happy and he has this brotherhood with Russell Westbrook and Carmelo Anthony that he's just gonna stay in OKC. And I think that opened the Lakers' eyes and it made them aware that they need to make this move. They have a good chance at getting Paul George plus an extra player, or they could just get Paul George and wait till summer 2019. I know the plan is Paul George and LeBron, but Cleveland was not done with trades. I mean, what this does for Cleveland, it gives them Jordan Clarkson. And look, I like Jordan Clarkson, but I don't really think he solves the issue for Cleveland right away. Larry Nance is a good athletic defender that Cleveland actually needed right now. Like we said, Cleveland was an aging roster, and they definitely fixed that. But again, Cleveland was not done because right after this, they went and got themselves some Rodney Hood. Now, this trade was massive, and I'm going to read it to you. This is an exact tweet from Adrian Wojnarowski. Utah will also send Joe Johnson to Sacramento, which, by the way, if you don't know, Joe Johnson is actually working on a contract buyout. Look for the Houston Rockets, the Golden State Warriors, and probably the Boston Celtics to be interested in Joe Johnson. And Cleveland will send Jay Crowder and Derrick Rose to Utah. Derrick Rose is also going to be bought out. There's rumors about him going to the Timberwolves now because of Tom Thibodeau. Cleveland also sends Iman Shumpert to Sacramento, and Cleveland acquires Rodney Hood and George Hill in this massive 3-team deal. Now let's talk about this deal. So Cleveland obviously wins this. They get Rodney Hood, who I think has had a bad season in Utah, but now he gets to go to Cleveland and shoot the ball. He kind of replaces Jay Crowder. Jay Crowder obviously failed in Cleveland. I thought he was going to be amazing in Cleveland. I thought Jay Crowder was just fantastic in Boston. I don't know if it's just because of Brad Stevens, but apparently after you leave Boston, you become a bum. But now he gets to go to Utah. If you don't remember, Utah actually already had prior interest in Jay Crowder a couple of summers ago. But now he gets to go there. Derrick Rose, he's going to get cut or bought out, and he's probably going to head to Minnesota. So I'm sorry, Minnesota, you got to deal with Derrick Rose. And Iman Shumpert goes to Sacramento. Then Cleveland wasn't done. After getting George Hill and Rodney Hood, which, by the way, George Hill is a great acquisition by the Cleveland Cavaliers. They replaced Isaiah Thomas with George Hill, so now you have George Hill and Jordan Clarkson in the backcourt. That's very good for them. But they weren't done. They trade Dwayne Wade, LeBron James, BFF, back to Miami. Insane. Nobody saw this one coming. Cleveland trades Dwayne Wade back to Miami. Many people were kind of shook by this. I was as well. I wondered why this trade went down. Apparently, there was discussions with Dwayne Wade, and he understood that he wasn't going to get playing time. His playing time was going to go down. He was going to lose playing time to George Hill, to Jordan Clarkson, to Osman, who's starting to make his way into the rotation. And they agreed that the best thing for Wade is to go back home, to go back to the organization where it all began and sign with the Miami Heat, or go back to the Miami Heat. Miami sent a heavily protected second-round pick to Cleveland. Now Wade gets to go with a team that's in the 4th spot in the Eastern Conference and probably contend for an Eastern Conference Eastern Conference Finals game. Then Denver traded Emmanuel Mudiay to the New York Knicks. It was a huge 3-team trade. Not huge, but it was a 3-team trade between the New York Knicks, the Dallas Mavericks, and the Denver Nuggets. In this trade, Mudiay goes to New York. The Knicks get to work with Mudiay. He needs, obviously, a change of scenery. I still remember when people or scouts or NBA, ESPN analysts were saying that the Lakers should have drafted Mudiay over D'Angelo. Devin Harris to Denver. Denver had very much interest in a veteran point guard, so they get that with Devin Harris. And Doug McDermott to Dallas. I like Doug McDermott. I think he's a good shooter. And now he gets to go to Dallas. New York also sent a future second-round pick in the deal. Now, that deal, I think Emmanuel Mudiay has lost whatever hype he had in Denver. He gets to change of scenery. He gets to go to New York. New York gets a young point guard under contract control, and they get to see what he could do in New York with the change of scenery. Hopefully, he takes over Jarrett Jack over there. And, the Knicks are back tanking ever since Kristaps Porzingis had that torn ACL. Prayers out to him. Hopefully, he comes back pretty soon. And after trading Willie Hernan-Gomez just yesterday to Charlotte. So now they have those two, that backcourt, that young backcourt with the French dude, Frank Nicotina, I think his name is, and Emmanuel Mudiay. They get to work with those two and see what those two bring to the table, because this is probably a lost season for the Knicks again, unfortunately, because of the Porzingis injury. Portland traded Noah Vonleh and cash in Chicago. Vonleh was another guy the Lakers were supposed to draft over Julius Randle. So that's unfortunate. Portland wanted to get under the luxury tax and gets $3.5 million trade exception. So, they get a couple more room tax-wise. Memphis, I'm shocked Memphis didn't do anything. It's really weird Memphis did not trade Tyreke Evans. It's really weird that they were holding on to Marcus Saul, who's 33 years old, has chronic foot injuries on a ridiculous, huge contract. If you're somebody like Memphis, you got to pretty much shake things up. I don't think Memphis has evolved at all as an organization, and for them, I've read that they rejected 2 second-round picks plus a young player for Tyreke Evans from Boston. And for me, it seems like a bad move for Memphis the way they're going. To keep this team together, they should have just went all in for the young core. And Clippers trading Blake Griffin, it was a question mark, but the Clippers know the direction they want to go, and Memphis, I feel they're still stuck hoping that they can still get something done. They have a lot of money invested in Marcus Gasol and Mike Conley. Mike Conley, unfortunately, out for the season as well. This NBA season has just been full of terrible injuries, and I've been saying on Twitter, you gotta put this NBA season in rice. Orlando traded Elfrid Payton to Phoenix for a second-round pick. A new start for Elfrid Payton. Orlando continues to be a mess. Just the draft picks they've done, they've wasted a bunch of them. For Phoenix, they maybe get their point guard for the future, but they only give up a second-round pick to see if it works. You get to have Elfrid Payton and Devin Booker back there. Hopefully that works out for them. And then the big one, DeAndre Jordan was not traded. That was a pretty big shocker for most of the teams in the NBA, that DeAndre Jordan was not traded. For the Clippers, hopefully you hope DeAndre opts in. You could trade him in a sign and trade. It's not the end of the world that he didn't trade him, because you could just wait. There's no really a rush to trade DeAndre Jordan. The Clippers, I'm pretty shocked they didn't trade. That they did not trade. I'm reading something, my bad. They didn't trade Avery Bradley. I thought they would move Avery Bradley into trade, but apparently they didn't. They didn't see a trade that fits. San Antonio didn't do anything, which is kind of shocking. But definitely, I think the winners of the trade deadline are definitely the Lakers, definitely Cleveland, and definitely Denver. Detroit Pistons. I think those are the 3 big winners of free agency. And the biggest winner are probably going to go with Cleveland. Because the problem with Cleveland is that they have an aging roster. The roster wasn't going anywhere. It was very old. Isaiah was shooting terribly. Derrick Rose took a 2-month vacation to get married. Dwayne Wade is past his prime. It's down. He's not going where he's going to go. He couldn't take this team to the next level. Kyle Korver, J.R. Smith, Jay Crowder became a bum as soon as he put a Cavaliers jersey on. And, they just need to reshape this team. And they did that perfectly. Rodney Hood's no scrub. Jordan Clarkson's a young shooter. You got George Hill, who's a great defender. You bring in Larry Nance, who gives you the defensive athleticism you're missing off the bench. This team looks very, very well put together now. It has a team that could run the floor now, and this is great pieces for LeBron James. But again, I feel like they did lose that Jordan Clarkson trade, though, because I feel like they panicked. Let's be honest. The Cavaliers wanted to hit a home run trade. They wanted to get a DeAndre Jordan. They wanted to get a Kemba Walker, and they panicked, and they settled with Jordan Clarkson and Larry Nance. When you give another team the chance to sign your best player, you lost the trade. The Lakers are in a perfect position not to just tell LeBron, come with us. No, LeBron, come with us, and why don't we bring Paul George down the lineup as well? The Lakers have the shot to have 3, maybe possibly 3 max slots if things work out the way they want to work out. Trading Jordan Clarkson was huge for them. They took in 2 expiring deals, but the biggest thing of taking away those 2 expiring deals and taking them up is that you get a first-round pick as well involved in this. And the Lakers have proven their scouts are one of the best scouts in the NBA. Kyle Kuzma, Josh Hart, Thomas Bryant. Those guys were late first-round picks, and now the Lakers have another first-round pick plus a second-round pick plus cap flexibility. This is an amazing trade for the Lakers. Obviously, Channing Frye and Isaiah Thomas are going to help the Lakers a little bit. They're not scrubs either. Channing Frye gives the Lakers more shooting from the front court. And hopefully, I'm hoping, crossing fingers, Isaiah Thomas finds a little bit of his form back here in LA. This Isaiah Thomas to the Lakers thing has been something that in the making for quite a long time. If you don't know how Isaiah Thomas got his name, his dad was a huge Laker fan. He made a bet with his friend that was a Detroit Pistons fan that the Lakers would beat the Pistons. The Pistons beat the Lakers, so the bet was that Isaiah Thomas was going to be his son's name, and now we have Isaiah Thomas on the Lakers. And he wanted to be a Laker a couple years ago before he signed with the Phoenix Suns. When he was a free agent and he was leaving Sacramento, Isaiah Thomas wanted to be a Laker, but at the time, Mitch Kupchak and Jim Buss were like hoarding and just obsessed with keeping cap space for a big superstar, and they didn't sign Isaiah. He went to Phoenix, and next thing you know, the Lakers used that cap space for Timothy Mozgov and Luol Deng. But things work out for themselves because now Isaiah Thomas is part of the Lakers. I hope he isn't being that bad like he was in Cleveland. He needs to come in here, humble himself, and just enjoy his ride. Try to raise his value up, because right now Isaiah's not going to get a max contract in free agency. I don't see a team give it to him. So he needs to just come in, chill. If he has to be on the bench, he needs to be on the bench. He needs to stop telling his agent to call Rachel Nichols and tell her that, hey, if I'm not starting, I want to buy out. Because that's not how it works, Isaiah. You've been awful. You've been awful this season. Humble yourself, man. You're in LA. You get to spend a couple months in LA. You got 5 months to chill here. Enjoy the sunshine. Enjoy being back home in the West Side. And just relax. You know, you don't got to be so negative about everything, man. I know you're not happy about how things have been going down for you. I know it's been rough for you, but I beg you, just relax, just chill. I mean, I'm not begging them. If they buy him out, they buy him out. It works for the Lakers' favor either way. But for his concern, I'm begging him for his concern. Just enjoy being back in the West Side. Enjoy it. Raise your value back up, because right now your value is at an all-time low. The fact that all it took was Jordan Clarkson and Larry Nance to get Isaiah Thomas. Like this time last year, when Isaiah Thomas was on Boston Celtics, his trade value was up the roof. This is when we're talking about max contract Isaiah Thomas. Now Isaiah Thomas, almost a year later, is traded for Jordan Clarkson and Larry Nance. That's how bad your value is right now. The Cavaliers literally just dumped you with a first-round pick to get rid of you. You can't come into the Lakers and demand to be starting. Lonzo Ball is starting, man. If they have to do a buyout, good for the Lakers. I mean, I obviously don't want somebody that's going to come in here and corrupt these young guys and be a cancer in the locker room. So if they have to agree with the buyout, they have to agree to a buyout. I think Channing Frye is an ultimate professional, so I think I like Channing Frye on the team. And I think this is great for the Lakers. Again, a first-round pick, a bunch of cap space. We're looking at possibly, again, 69, very nice, cap space money. $69 million of cap space money for the Lakers this summer. That 2019 story has been just thrown down to the river. I don't know. $69 million for the Lakers to spend. Paul George, LeBron James. That is what Magic came here to do. Just like he said, unfortunately, it took Larry Nance to get traded and Jordan Clarkson, which kind of sucks because now the year that Larry Nance joins the dunk contest in Los Angeles, now he's a Cleveland Cavalier. But just like his father, he's a Cleveland Cavalier. So congrats to Larry Nance and Jordan Clarkson. I hope you guys kill it. You guys are going to be on the playoff team for the first time in your careers. Be ready for that. Big props for Cleveland for pulling the trigger on multiple deals and just fixing this team. Pretty much just putting a new team together, because you literally have 5 months. 5 months to convince LeBron James to stay in Cleveland, because if you don't, Magic Johnson's going to be calling, and he's probably going to be calling with Paul George on his side. They got 5 months to figure this out. I don't know if these trades are going to put them over the hill, by the way. I don't know if this is going to be good enough to beat the Warriors, and I actually don't even think it is, because Jordan Clarkson's defense isn't good. Larry Nance, he's good, but he's had moments. Ronnie Hood has had moments. It's just, I don't know, man. It's a good year for the Lakers, though. They've done what they've been wanting to do. The plan has been laid out. I don't know why Laker fans are so triggered about it. I don't know why the Lakers are so, they've improved. I'm reading a tweet right now, my bad. The Lakers have made fantastic strides. Can argue they've improved both talent and books in this year's Magic took over. Tough to do. And it's true. Magic and Rob Pelinka have done an awesome job. I applaud them. They have done great. They've improved this Laker team. They've added cap space. They've added cap flexibility. Seriously, when we had Timothy Mozgov and Luol Deng signed, and we signed Jordan Clarkson, it looked like the Lakers had no cap space for a very long time. We weren't going to be players in free agency. Now the Lakers are in position to be huge players in free agency, and that's huge for this team. I mean, for Magic and Rob to find draft steals and Kyle Kuzma and Josh Hart, to draft Lonzo Ball, Thomas Bryant, to get a first-round pick next year that they did not have, to have a second-round pick, to have cap flexibility for next summer. It's a fantastic job by the Lakers and Magic and Rob Pelinka, and I applaud them. For Cleveland, again, I don't know if these moves get them over the hill, but it was very much needed. And yes, the Cleveland Cavaliers are better today than they were yesterday. For the Detroit Pistons, they look like a legit Eastern Conference threat right now with Blake Griffin, Andre Drummond, and now Jameer Nelson coming in for more point guard help. So, you know, all these teams improved. I think the Lakers, they got somebody pretty good. Howie Byers signs with, oh, that's the WWE, my bad. And this was a hell of a trade deadline. It totally proved me wrong. I thought this was going to be a pretty bad trade deadline. I know Isaiah Thomas is probably butthurt. This is the third time in like, what, 2 years that Isaiah Thomas has been traded? And, you know, from Phoenix to Boston to Cleveland to LA. But finally, he's back home in the City of Angels. And he could play in the West Coast. And thank you guys so much for watching. This trade deadline was absolutely binoculars. I cannot believe this trade deadline was this insane. It was just insane of a trade deadline, guys. And this is our recap, a really quick video. If you haven't seen our Venom teaser trailer reaction, that video is now up on our channel. You guys go check it out down below. I'll probably leave a link for it somewhere down below. Guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. And if you guys want to join the Quick Bait Quick, all you gotta do is subscribe down below. Slap the thumb for more NBA sports talk, more trailer reactions, more vlogs, podcasts, etc., etc. More content coming to you every single day. Tomorrow, don't know what I'm going to react to. Probably something WWE related. Maybe something to do with the SmackDown top 10 rating. So if you want to see that, all you gotta do is subscribe, slap the thumb. Links, all that, can't talk, all down low in the description. Don't forget to join the Clickbait Quick, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Too sweet.